What's up, everybody? I think we're live. Facebook, let's see, looks live. This is Jordan Molson coming to you from Local Social Live. What's up, Social Wednesday, where we're going to be talking today about YouTube TV, Planet of the Apps, and the attention shift. And I'm going to want to encourage you to watch the replay until the end or skip forward till the end, the very last tail end of this video today, this live stream. I'm going to be sharing some stats, some actual data taken from just weeks ago pertaining to online video and YouTube specifically. Because some of the things I'm going to talk about today with YouTube TV are just mind-blowing. We're in the middle of one of the craziest shifts this world has probably ever seen. Well, I know for certain that it's ever seen. So I want to encourage you, watch this video. Is most likely going to be the replay that you're seeing. Watch it as if it's happening live right now, no matter what time of day it is, day or night, and interact with me. Share your comments. Tell me who you are, where you're watching from, and what you do in the world. Again, as you join us, please comment. Tell me if you say nothing else. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and what you do in the world. And I'd love to interact with you. I will respond to every single comment that comes in, every question, every opinion. Keep it decent if you are going to comment. Don't be a jerk, which most people won't. We're just talking about business stuff. So I want to welcome you. Jordan Molson here again with Local Social Live. I appreciate your attention, appreciate your watching. Local Social Live, we talk about all things social, live streaming. We're doing this live, and we try to put a local spin on all the things that we discuss and talk about during the live show. So let me go ahead and make sure that the live stream is coming through and audio and everything is looking and sounding good. Give me 1 second here and we will get rolling. As you're coming on again, tell me who you are, where you're at, where you live, where you're from, and what you do in the world. Truly appreciate it. All right, let me make sure audio is coming through. If you're coming on again, tell me. Yep, looks good, sounds good. Awesome. So let's do something here. 1 second. All right. As we're talking here, during any time of this show, if you'd like to come in and join in the show and have an interaction with me, have a chat. There's a link down, as you can see here. I put up the comment, but below you can click the link, preferably in another web page or a web window. Another tab in your web browser. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you'll actually have to leave the live stream and go to the app and check in that way. But I'd love to have anybody that wants to come on camera and chat about things and share your opinion and your perspective on the things we're discussing today. I would love to have you on here. I'd love to promote who you are and what you do and all that kind of good stuff. And I just like the conversation live on the show would be freaking awesome. So again, I want to continue sharing why I created this show. So I have to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Bruce Cadle, who helped me come up with the name. And I love the name. It stood out to me, and that's how the name came into the show, because he knows me, he knows who I am and what I do in the world. And I'm all about local businesses. I'm all about social media, and live streaming is where things are headed. And we're doing this show. It's going to be a live show. So it's a perfect name, Local Social Live. So I want to discuss on these shows. Eventually, I'm going to have guests on a Wednesday who are talking about social media type strategies, perceptions, things that are going on in the world. And then we're going to put a local spin on everything we discuss. Every guest, we're going to put a local spin on it. And on Fridays, I'm going to start featuring people who are in the live streaming space, live streaming influencers at some point in the future. but then also just, average everyday people who are using live streaming to promote themselves, promote their brands, promote whatever they're doing in the world. And I want to bring on a various different type of gallery of people, if you will, talking about live streaming and how they're using it effectively for whatever they're doing. And then again, we're always going to put a local spin on it. So we talk about all things social, all things live streaming. We're doing this live every Wednesday and Friday, and we put a local perception, a local spin on everything so that local businesses can take what's going on in the world of media, digital media, and apply it effectively, strategically, intelligently to their own local business, no matter what type of local business they run. So today, again, I'm going to talk about YouTube TV, the Planet of the Apps TV show that just launched and just came out last night with Gary Vaynerchuk, will.i.am, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Jessica Alba, which I still have a few minutes left of the first episode to finish watching, but it's hot. It's awesome. You should be watching it. And then we're going to talk about the attention shift that has already taken place in the world and how a lot of people, sadly, I think, are going to get left behind. Because the stats, data, these days that we live in, data tells the truth. Data tells everything, and the data doesn't lie. So I'm going to share towards the end of this video some stats about video data, YouTube data specifically, and I'm going to end with a really crazy stat that just blew my mind. I just heard it for the first time this morning, and that's going to be my punchline at the end of this live stream. So continue watching. It's going to be cool. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let me pull up my media here. And, hang on one second. For those of you who, actually, let me bring that back in and I'll do solo here. For those of you who are kind of following what I'm doing, or at least will be, again, today I'm using a dashboard or a channel called BeLive.tv. So it's just known as BeLive. And it's one of the emerging, rising, most popular platforms for anybody to live stream. They have a mobile app, which I have not used the mobile app, but they have a web-based system where you literally log in to the app through your Facebook account, and you can connect all your pages, all your Facebook groups, or just your profile, and you can stream live using the dashboard with all the different tools. Like, for example, you'll see me throughout the show, but this is BeLive TV. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. Let's see. You can check it out at BeLive.tv. Is there? Oh, it's not showing. That's weird. Interesting. Well, I'll bring this back up. Hide current comment. Interesting. Now, that's funny that I was on a show the other day, actually, was it last night, where the comments stopped showing up. So they may have a bug right now in their system, because I'm not showing that any of the comments are showing up right now. Yeah, comments have stopped. So that's too bad. Looks like comments won't be coming through the stream, which is fine. I'm not going to be depending on the comments too much today anyway. So anyway, sorry. That's the fun factors of doing live streaming and live video is you run into things break, bugs pop up and start chewing on your stuff. So you got to roll with it. So I don't know what's going on. It must be a global bug, because I was on a live show last night with folks who use BeLive all the time, and the same thing was happening. So, all right. So as you're watching me on this stream, and you'll see me doing the different things I'll be doing on the screen, just wanted to let you know that this is BeLive, and these are some features of BeLive. I'm going to be integrating a private Facebook album. Some of you may be wondering why or how I'm doing the things on the screen that I'm doing. A lot of you may be aware of it, but if you're not, BeLive allows you to bring in still shots from a Facebook album, and you can use those on screen in any way that you want. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. It's not screen sharing, although they do have screen sharing coming up soon. I believe it's in beta right now, where the beta testers are working out the kinks and the bugs. But they will eventually have screen sharing at some point for everybody who uses the BeLive platform. So today I'm not using screen sharing. It's just prepared slides that I've inputted into a private Facebook photo album that I'm pulling into the show. So that's what you're going to see here today. So here it is. So let me make sure the audio is coming through. Once I see that the transition happened, I want to make sure that audio is still coming through. Now that the camera's not live, it should. Here it is. So let me make sure the audio is, all right, it is, we're good. Okay, hey Aaron. I'm also streaming on my personal Facebook profile to try to bring people into the stream so I can get some guests going. So I want to welcome Aaron. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Kathy. Cool. All right. So, YouTube TV. I don't know if I've heard in the news, in social news and internet news, I've heard that phrase come up a time or two. YouTube TV. I never really dug into it because to me, YouTube is TV. I mean, YouTube, there's the video stats of the watch time and the view time on YouTube, cross-platform, desktop and mobile, is just asinine. It's craziness. So yesterday, as I was waiting for a video to upload, I happened to click on YouTube TV. And here's what I found. So we're going to go through this. It's unfreaking believable. And yeah, you'll see. If you're not aware of this already, your mind may be blown. Maybe you won't care. We'll see what happens. But YouTube is launching a TV service, like a live TV service. So as you can see here, I'm going to take you through the website and some snapshots that I took and talk about how this could possibly impact cable TV providers. And I'm going to share some stats with you towards the end of the video that's pretty much going to solidify the shift that's happening right before our eyes. So finally, live TV made for you. And it's pretty much, if you go to I'd encourage you to go to youtube.com and click on up in the top left menu area, somewhere should be YouTube TV, and go through this and just check it out. It's crazy. So live TV made for you. They're going to be live streaming certain they're going to be streaming live TV networks in certain major cities to start with. I am considering, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, so I want to kind of save my month maybe on a low down month where I have time to watch and test it out. But as you can see here, they give you a free month to try out. So I'm tempted to try it out just to see what features that I do have as someone who does not live in one of the major metropolitan areas like New York City or LA, or I forget where the other one was that they're doing. So let's walk through this. So finally, TV made for you, live TV made for you. You stream live TV, obviously, without cable. All you need is Wi-Fi. This is the part that got my attention. So a DVR, like you've never DVR'd before. My wife and I, we have not had cable in, I can't even tell you how long. It seems like years that we haven't had cable. Now we have Wi-Fi because, geez, how could we live today really without Wi-Fi in the modern regular world? So we kicked cable to the curb a long time ago just because the DVR was a hassle. It kept breaking. It kept not recording shows, and it was extra money that just kept crapping out. So we were paying money for things that kept crapping out. The DVR broke, seemed like every 4 to 6 months or 6 to 8 months. and channels. I don't know. It wasted so much time, and it was not worth the money. So we kicked cable to the curb a long time ago, and just upped our Wi-Fi a little bit, and we do the typical things what I think most people do today, and that's just Netflix and Hulu and YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. Most of our TV time is dominated by the kids. And kids today, I mean, you can entertain kids for hours with just YouTube. And that's what a lot of the time we watch is YouTube. My daughter likes the Wiggles. So I could sing you just about any Wiggles song that your little heart desires right here on the show if you wanted to, but I will spare you from that. So we haven't had cable. So the DVR, when we did have cable, the DVR was just a constant state of just aggravation, because it would either get too full and then we'd have to delete shows down. And it was always like, well, we haven't watched this yet. We haven't watched that yet. The kids, we can't delete that because the kids want to watch that. Which is just, and then it would break, and then they'd have to come bring a new one out, and we'd lose everything that we had on it, and we'd be starting from scratch again. This happened seemed like often, probably a couple times a year. Maybe it was only once a year, but it was a pain. So the DVR was a pain. So this got my attention yesterday when I read this. DVR like you've never DVR'd before. So what I remember, you can go read the details yourself, but from what I remember reading yesterday about the YouTube TV DVR service is it's unlimited. So you can quote DVR or put in their DVR cloud. It's a cloud-based system. So you can tell YouTube TV to put as many shows, as many series as you want in your DVR cloud, and hours upon hours. The only caveat is it remains there and available for 9 months. So that's pretty darn good, in my opinion, that you can save save and record. It's weird to even call it DVR. That you can DVR as many shows and series as you want in the cloud for free and or for no additional charge. And it's there for 9 months. You have 9 months worth of access to it. So that's pretty crazy. And as you'll see on the next slide here, well, actually the one after this, I'll jump ahead, that each account, so it's $35 a month for YouTube TV. You get a month free to test it out. I'm probably going to test it out here before too long. But it's available everywhere. So it's kind of like being able to carry your television around in your pocket. So you can watch it on your tablet. You can pick it up on your cell phone later. You can watch it with something on your TV. You can leave it on your TV. You got to go hit the road or something. You get on a plane. You can pick up your tablet and continue watching on the plane. So it's really, I guess, modern TV for the modern world. And cable, I think cable is going to be really struggling hard to keep any relevancy in the marketplace. I mean, they're providing Wi-Fi, which is awesome. But even that, I believe, is going to change in the future. It has to. So you can watch on all your different screens. It's not limited to one thing. And here's the really awesome, crazy thing. Each $35 a month a YouTube TV account comes with 6 different accounts. So you can give up to 6 people their own private personal login to your one $35 a month YouTube TV account. And each of those people have their own personal settings, their own personal DVR. They essentially have their own YouTube TV service. They log in, they manage all their own stuff. They're not stepping over anybody else's shows or anybody else's toes. They've got their own unlimited DVR cloud that they can send all their shows to. And they don't have to fight with, the brother or the sister or whoever, or mom and dad don't have to fight over, did you delete my show by accident? That was a big one. Did you delete my show? Oh, yeah, sorry, I had to have save space on the DVR. None of that's going to happen anymore with YouTube TV. So it's just that in and of itself, like we were paying, back when we had cable, we were paying like $15 a month for the DVR service. Just that alone. So with YouTube TV, $20 more than what we were paying with cable just to have a DVR. and you get 6 different accounts. It's ludicrous. It's crazy. It's awesome. I'm blown away. Like, wow, this is really cool. If it works and if it seems as cool, like if they've worked out the bugs and they've got things where it's actually working the way it's being advertised, it's really awesome. So if you're watching the replay on this and you've been using YouTube TV, I want you please to comment and tell me about your experience. I want to hear what you think about YouTube TV from a user perspective. I'm going to get my own experience, my own perspective here sometime soon, but not yet. But this, to me, is worth the price of admission right here. It comes with $35 a month, comes with 6 accounts. Each account gets their own private DVR in the cloud service where no one's stepping over each other's toes. No one's accidentally deleting the show that the other recorded and hasn't watched yet. It's all private. It's all, yeah, it's amazing. Let's see where we're at here. So here's some of the channels. You get all the TV, none of the commitment. That's the other big thing is try it for a month, pay for it for a month, don't like it, cancel. No big deal. There's no contracts. There's none of that stuff. It's awesome. So here's some of the channels that you can get on the service. I need to pull up my view here so I can actually see it. Where's it at? So we're looking at all the major channels. Like these, like I don't really see, when we had cable, I literally watched like maybe 5 of the same channels all the time. That was it. So we had all these, 300, 400 channels, which is stupid. But I would only watch maybe 4 to 6 of them at any given week or month. So you get all the major networks: ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, CW, Telemundo, ESPN, CSN, Fox. I'm not going to go through all of them. AMC is a big one. USA, FX. Where's the other one? Disney, obviously for kids, it's huge. Disney Junior, Sci-Fi, National Geographic, YouTube Red Originals, which they're going to be probably trying to emulate what Netflix is doing with original programming. And I thought I saw, let's see, Entertainment, E. There's one missing that I thought I saw yesterday, which is kind of a big deal. I forget what it was now. It was kind of like a similar channel to AMC. But anyway, you got Bravo, you got Golf Channel, you got MSNBC, Fox News, all those major channels. And right now they have 2 add-on networks, which is Showtime and Fox Soccer Plus. So I would be willing to bet that once they work out agreements with the other networks, they'll be adding on some other add-on networks as well. And those you can't see it on the slide, but I think Showtime is an extra $11 a month, and Fox Soccer Plus is like $15 extra a month, something like that. So that's some crazy, crazy stuff that you can get all those channels, which include just about everything I used to watch for $35 a month, and 6 people can have access to your account for their own personal experience, TV and DVR and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to shift just yet. So what do you think? What do you think about this YouTube TV thing? I'd like to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you think about this. Are you a cable? Here's my question. Do you still have cable? Let me put myself back on here. Are you still a cable user? Like, do you pay a company, Comcast, whoever else is out there, Spectrum, so on and so forth? Do you still pay Cox Cable? Do you still pay somebody for cable access? I'd like to know. There's got to be people out there, but there's got to be people out there who are still paying for cable. And if you are paying for cable, I'd love to know why you're still paying for cable. What is it that cable is offering you that you can't get somewhere else that makes it worth the money? I'd like to hear your comments. Please share your opinion with me. On the flip side, I believe there's going to be more and more people like me and my wife and our family who are, I mean, we haven't, it seems like years ago since we've had cable. I don't know actually how long it is. It may only be, I'm pretty sure it's more than a year. I think we're looking at maybe 2 years, if not more. But more and more people, I think, especially younger people, are going to be shifting away from cable because they can get pretty much everything they want, not free, but I don't think people don't get rid of cable because they find it for free. Most people don't mind paying. That's why they're paying for cable in the first place. They just want ease of access. They want to be able to watch what they want, when they want it, how they want to watch it. And that's what YouTube TV is doing. Apple TV and Apple Music is doing that as well. So YouTube TV isn't the first thing to the first company to provide people what they want to watch, when they want to watch, how they want to watch it. But it is the first thing that I've seen where it's like an actual live streaming TV service where you can just like turn on and switch channels and tune into channels live. Haven't seen anybody else doing that, but I'm not super connected, so maybe there is somebody out there. But in this shift of how things are working in the world today, I want to talk about just my experience last night. And that leads me into Planet of the Apps. So the only reason that I've heard anything about Planet of the Apps was because I keep in touch with Gary Vaynerchuk, at least weekly. I watch what he's doing, and I remember there was a series of Gary Daily V's, which is his daily kind of vlog show, where he was flying out and doing Planet of the Apps. Didn't really talk about it too much. I didn't really look into it too much. It was just like, oh, that's cool, whatever. Now I realize that it was a pretty freaking big deal. And so last night, I saw all of a sudden buzz started popping up in Instagram about Planet of the Apps. Gary posted, a bunch of other people posted, and then I realized through Instagram, so here we go with What's Up Social Wednesday. How are we getting our information? What things are actually leading us to take action and interact with things? For me last night, it all started with Instagram. I got notifications on Instagram. Let me back up. I apologize. So let me walk you through my evening last night of how, to me, this is becoming real for me personally, and how the world is shifting and how the attention shift is really taking root in our daily lives, which I'm going to talk about here at the last segment of the show. With the attention shift. So last night, my wife and I usually try to just kind of hang out. We talk for a while. We might watch a show, one episode of something just together to kind of hang out. And we talk before, talk after. Usually when we're done watching our show together, she usually goes to bed and I stay up an extra hour or so, either do stuff on the computer, do stuff on my phone, or I watch a show, catch up on a show that I like to watch that she doesn't like to watch. Last night, I figured that would be my normal thing. Here, let me keep forgetting that I changed the screen. But after my wife and I stopped watching our show, I couldn't get off my phone. My phone grabbed me because I was keeping up. I was keeping up on something, keeping up with some things on my phone. But in the middle of that, I was just doing something in the meantime on my phone, once my wife went to bed, was going to turn on one of the shows that I watch, and then I was going to go to bed. But during keeping up with a few things on my phone, I got a notification from Instagram, and it was Gary V. And he posted that this Planet of the Apps thing that I'd been hearing about, that he'd been filming, episode 1 came out, was released last night. So within just minutes of the season 1 premiere being released, I was watching it on my phone. And it kept me from turning on or continuing on the TV. So Apple Music, through their Planet of the Apps show, through Gary Vaynerchuk, who's one of the hosts, or I guess you can call him host of the show, Apple Music successfully took my attention from my TV and put it on my phone. Now, I don't have Apple TV. I'm not, even though I'm a Mac guy, I'm not a big iTunes guy. So I don't watch my media through iTunes. But they got my attention last night with their Planet of the Apps show. And that whole experience, I can't really break it down. You're either going to get what I'm talking about or you're not. But that whole experience, that's the attention shift that I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes. My attention last night, because of social media and because of unique, specific, original programming by Apple, my attention was taken from Netflix on my TV and diverted to Apple programming on my phone. And it happened because of original programming and through social media influence. That's the shift that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. So aside from that, that was an interesting experience for me after the fact to be like, wow, I got a notification from Instagram from Gary Vaynerchuk that said his show that he's been filming for X amount of months just dropped and just released the first episode, which led me to open iTunes on my iPhone, which I almost never open because I'm not an iTunes guy. And it got me to go to the Planet of the Apps page and download the first episode and started watching it. I still have a few minutes left. It's like a 50-minute episode. So I watched a few minutes last night, went to bed, watched a few more this morning, and I've got a few minutes left to watch later on today or later tonight. That's how we're consuming our media. And I think YouTube is on to something big, and obviously Apple as well. This is through the Apple Music app, and they're doing it to try to get subscriptions through their Apple Music app, I'm assuming. That's the end game. So Planet of the Apps, I'd encourage you. I was totally impressed. Not only do they have a crazy cast and just a stunning lineup of people on the show, but the show was really awesome. I just loved the concept of the show. So the concept of the show is it's all centered around app developers, which is just a huge industry and marketplace today is app developers. I mean, that's where the future is headed. The future is apps. So some of the most brilliant people in business that we haven't even heard about yet that may be still breastfeeding are going to be people in the future who develop cutting edge app technology that improves our lives somehow. So the premise of the show is unbelievable. I think it's so much more interesting, so cool, so much cooler than The Voice and American Idol to me. It's just because I'm in this space. I'm not an app developer, but I love technology. I love social and seeing how things are evolving in the tech world. So the premise of the show is that these app developers come on the show and they get a 60-second escalator ride right in front of the judges. They get a 60-second escalator ride, and that's their pitch time. So 60 seconds down the escalator, they got that amount of time to pitch their app. And then once they get to the bottom of the escalator, time's done. The judges swipe yes or no on their tablet. It shows up on the floor. Super cool production design. Whoever did that, just very creative. I just love the show. I'd encourage you to go watch it. If you don't know how to watch it, go pull up your Instagram, search Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V, and he's got tons of videos on there showing you how to watch it. And you can watch it for free. They give you plenty of ways to watch it for free if you're not already an iTunes Apple Music member. So the premise of the show is super cool. And I mean, look at the lineup. So they've got will.i.am, people from multiple different industries. They got will.i.am, they've got Jessica Alba, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Gary Vaynerchuk. So the lineup of judges, number one, is just awesome. And so anyway, I'd encourage you to watch the next watch the first episode. So this is their Instagram account. You can also find Planet of the Apps on Instagram, just at Planet of the Apps, and check it out. It's going to be a show that, I mean, it's awesome. So Apple Music, congratulations, you've got my attention with creating an original programming, an original show that makes me want to divert my attention to Apple Music. Do you see it? Do you see the shift here? So Apple TV has gotten my attention and diverted my attention, at least partially, not completely. No one's ever going to steal everyone's attention 100%. All of these apps today are going to share attention. But this strategy that Apple has used is how the marketplace is going to fight for the attention. So I usually watch a Netflix show at the end of the evening. That's where my attention is. Netflix, usually on my TV, usually has my attention at the end of the evening. So now Apple Music, Apple has taken part of the attention that I was giving Netflix on my TV and diverted that attention to Apple Music on my phone. So that's the attention shift we're experiencing today in the world, and it's unbelievable. So let me go ahead and move into some of the stats that I'm going to talk about right now. So since we're talking about YouTube TV, I could have talked about Apple and iTunes and things like that, Apple Music, Apple TV, iTunes, but YouTube TV got my attention yesterday. So let's talk about the attention shift like I just kind of led into. And I want to do that by just sharing some data. I want to share, now these stats are from 2017. So this is 2017 YouTube data taken from just a few months ago. I think it was March 27th or the end of March. So just weeks ago. So this isn't data that came in, a year ago back in 2016. This is data just from weeks ago. So here we go. Let's jump into it. And I'm just going to read them to you. I'm not going to do, crazy amounts of commenting and all that kind of stuff on this, but the total number of people who use YouTube is approximately 1.3 billion. 1.3 billion. 6 out of 10 people, so collectively 60%, 6 out of 10 people prefer online video platforms to live TV. Similar to what happened to me last night. My attention was taken from my TV, even though it wasn't live, it was still TV. It was taken from my TV and diverted to online video. So 60% of people, which is going to be a growing number, 60% of people prefer online video platforms to live TV. It's a crazy stat. The average daily mobile YouTube views is 1 billion. So every day, the average the average views that YouTube gets from mobile devices through their YouTube mobile app is 1 billion views. It's unbelievable, the attention that's being given to mobile or YouTube mobile. This I thought was very interesting. The largest age group on YouTube is the 45 to 54 segment. So the biggest group of people that are watching YouTube are 45-year-olds to 54-year-olds. That shocked me. So it's not by a large margin. I think the second place stat was 23%, I want to say. But that's right behind that market. So the market share, the largest age group on YouTube that's getting, where are we at? 59, so almost 60% of YouTube traffic is coming from 35 to 54-year-olds. That's crazy. So the majority of the people that are giving their attention to YouTube are 35 to 54-year-olds. That's just, I don't know if you're a data person, but that data to me is just crazy. So we're getting to the end of this. Hang on with me here for a few more minutes. We're going to get to the punchline of this whole thing, and I'm going to recap it and tie it up in a little bow for you. So the average YouTube mobile session lasts more than 40 minutes. The average YouTube mobile session lasts more than 40 minutes. That's a lot of attention, especially in a world where people are looking for micro content. And that may be 40 minutes worth of micro content. But to me, when I see that, I think that's like one long episode of a TV show, 40 minutes long. So 40 minutes of watch time is the average session, which means some people are on YouTube for hours at a time, and some people are only on YouTube for a few minutes. But the average for being 40 minutes just tells me that YouTube is getting lots of worldwide market attention. So this is kind of goes in tandem with that previous one, which is pretty interesting. The average mobile viewing session length is growing by 50% year over year. So what that says to me, that by 2018 this time, so summer of 2018, if that stat remains accurate, or if that trend continues on its current track, that by summer of 2018, the average mobile viewing session length will be approximately 60 minutes. And that's crazy. So the average mobile viewing session by 2018 could potentially be an hour. That's the average, is 60 minutes. And then in 2019, it could be up to an hour and a half, 90 minutes. That's the attention shift we're talking about. Data doesn't lie. TV networks are, like cable companies, are in big, big trouble. So stay with me here. I'm going to tie this in on how local businesses need to be using this data. Now, here's the stat. This statistic blew my ever-loving mind. With all of that data, with YouTube, regular YouTube, I guess desktop YouTube, and mobile YouTube, with all of those stats, all of those billions upon billions of views, millions upon millions of users, only 9% of U.S. small businesses are using YouTube. What? Like I kind of want to slap myself in the face in disbelief. I want to beat my head into the wall in disbelief. Like, what? Only 9% of U.S. small businesses are using YouTube? I'm speechless. But that brings me back to exactly why I started this show. Because my hope, my goal, my mission is that eventually I'll start gaining the viewership of local small business owners so that I can help them realize how much cake they're throwing out in the trash, how much money and attention. Attention is money. Eyeballs equals money. How much money they're leaving on the table or just sweeping off into the trash. And I think the reason that most people, most business, U.S. small business owners are not using YouTube is because we also, as Americans, collectively have a microwave mentality. And people think if you put up one YouTube video and it costs you $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 to have that video produced and uploaded and optimized and put on YouTube, if it doesn't bring you in $10,000 next month, you kind of poo-poo it and say, this YouTube thing, see, I told you, now I've wasted $2,000 or $500. This YouTube thing doesn't work. It's all a bunch of snake oil. And all these social media people who are selling social media are just a bunch of quacks. I guess in the long run, somebody who has that experience and has such a short-sighted, narrow-minded perspective deserves to be put out of business. Because eventually, unless the attitude changes, people like that will go out of business. I don't know of any other outcome. You either adapt to the world you live in and restructure your business for the world that you actually live in, or you're irrelevant and you die. There's really no other way that I know of possible. And we're talking long term. I'm not talking next month. I'm not talking next year. This is a long-term thing. So for some folks, it may not matter. You may not care. But for YouTube to have such, I mean, geez. Let me go back and look at some of these stats again. I mean, here's one of the other excuses that a lot of U.S. small business owners use is, oh, YouTube, well, no, our customers are my age. They're in their 50s. So we don't need to reach the younger crowd right now. It's the younger crowd that watches that YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff. One of the largest growing segments, age groups, demographics on Facebook is the 55 to 70-year-olds. That's one of the fastest growing demographic groups on Facebook. So on YouTube, to read these stats, that the largest age group on YouTube is the 45 to 50-year-old market, and that's at 26%. And the group right behind that at 23% is the 35 to 44-year-olds. That data just showed the ignorance of a lot of U.S. small business owners right there. Your market, 35 to 54-year-olds, are constituting 60% of YouTube's attention. But yet, only 9% of U.S. small businesses are using YouTube. It don't match. It reveals where the ignorance is at. So again, I say, what? Wait, what? So the attitude that I would love to instill into local business owners and U.S.-based small businesses is, I guess Gary Vaynerchuk really does say things the best way in a lot of different aspects. It's you take your day-to-day fast. You always need to move fast, but you practice patience. You move fast today, but you're moving fast today for results that you're willing to wait for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You don't act fast today and expect your harvest tomorrow. It just doesn't work like that. Seed time and harvest doesn't even work like that. A farmer doesn't go out and plant his field of wheat tomorrow and then expect to be out there reaping his wheat and selling it at market next week. The world doesn't work like that, and business doesn't work like that either. So I hope by this video, people are seeing that YouTube has a huge grasp on the attention of 35 to 60-year-olds, 35 to 55-year-olds. That's their largest segment of attention, 35 to 55-year-olds. That is huge. It's not a bunch of 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and 20-year-olds. 35 to 55-year-olds constitute upwards of 60% of YouTube's overall attention. So start thinking about your long game, U.S. business owners. Start thinking about how you can consistently create valuable, helpful content to help people, and by doing so, putting your brand in front of their attention, in front of their eyeballs, as the brand, the company who have brought them the help that they were looking for. It really goes back to as simple as that. So how do you leverage YouTube, U.S. small business owner? You start creating simple content that people are already looking for, and you deliver it as your company, as your brand. And over the long term, you have massive amounts of content that's helping massive amounts of people. You only need a portion of that audience to actually do business with you in order to profit and thrive and grow into the future. So it's really as simple as that. I don't need to ramble any longer about it. I feel like I'm literally beating a horse, beating a dead horse, or beating a horse to death, however you say that crazy horse beating dead phrase. I don't need to talk about it any longer. Let's see if the comments are still not working. So it's pretty interesting. Man, now I need some water, so I need to end. So I hope you got that. I hope somebody got something out of this today. If you did, I'd really appreciate you to comment, like, share your thoughts on what we talked about today. Tell me who you are, where you're at, and what you're doing in the world, and interact with me. If you found value in this and think you know somebody else who might find some value in it as well, please send it to that person or share it on your timeline or your Facebook or on your YouTube sharing channel, all that kind of good stuff. But if you know somebody who needs to hear this message, send it to them directly and say, watch this at this, 5 minutes and 3 seconds, or watch this at 7 minutes and 5 seconds, and get this message out, because I have a heart. It makes me sad and angry at the same time to see so many U.S. small business owners, especially U.S.-based local small business owners, missing out on one of the fastest growing trends, the fastest moving aspect of commerce today. And that is online social and video marketing. It doesn't get any more simple. It doesn't get any more handed to you on a silver platter than what's going on right now. If YouTube is launching a YouTube TV service, where do you think the attention is going to be heading? That's what I wanted to talk about. I forgot that I wanted to say that. Back in the mid-'80s, when television broadcasting was really coming up and booming. I mean, it was booming before that, but I'm an 80s kid, so that's what I had to reference. I can't reference the 70s. I was born in the 80s. But back in the 80s, when TV was booming, what if ABC News, ABC Network, came to your business and said, hey, I'd like to allow you to broadcast some of your videos. They're not going to be in our prime time, broadcast times. They're not going to be at the 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock p.m. Broadcast times. But I'd like to let you take some of this other view time that we're not really using and put some videos about your business up there, maybe teaching something or just promoting your business. Would you like, for free? We're not going to charge you for it. How'd you like to do that on the ABC network? Just put some videos up here about your business. You'd have thought you were getting scammed. Essentially, that's what YouTube's doing. YouTube has built an attention behemoth, and now they're adding a YouTube television live broadcast membership, and they allow you still, they may start charging, they allow you still to put up as many videos as you want on the YouTube network for your business. And now they're launching a YouTube TV service on the YouTube network. Can anybody find anything about your business on the YouTube network? I mean, do you get what I'm saying? Hopefully I'm explaining it well. It's crazy. If you're not using YouTube, why? Why not? It would be like turning down free broadcast time on ABC News. YouTube is working so hard to get the attention of the world, and they're handing you free access to post your own videos about yourself, about your business, about your brand for free on the network that they're starting a television live streaming service on. If it doesn't connect with you, then I guess you don't need to be there. That's crazy. So if you have any questions about all this, YouTube is one of the places that I got my start. It's not as easy today. Nothing is as easy today online as it was 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. But if you have any questions about how do I do YouTube? What do I do? How do I upload? What kind of content do I create? I'd like you to reach out to me. You can message me through this page at the Local Social Live page. You can message me. The URL to use is just m.me/Local Social Live or Jordan Molson. I'd be more than happy to open up a text dialogue through Messenger, Facebook Messenger with you and answer your questions, give you some direction, free of charge. There's no strings attached. I give free advice all the time, folks, friends, family, and colleagues write me all the time randomly and ask me questions about YouTube this or Facebook that. It's open to you. Free advice. If you want me to actually fulfill on any of the advice I give you, and that's where I start charging. But advice, free. I'd be glad to answer your questions for you. And so again, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is Jordan Molson for Local Social Live, where we talk about all things social media, all things live streaming. We're doing this live, and we put a local spin for the local U.S. small business owner on everything we talk about. So we appreciate it if you enjoyed this broadcast, and appreciate you sharing it, liking it, commenting, sharing your perspective with me in the comments. And tune in 2 days from now, Friday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to be doing Face Live Friday. We'll be talking about live streaming, and I do believe I have a guest. My guest couldn't make it this Friday. I do believe I'll have a guest next Friday, a mompreneur, talking about how she's used live streaming and how it's benefited her life. So thanks so much for being here. I truly appreciate your attention. God bless, and we'll see you in a couple days for Face Live Friday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, facebook.com/Local Social Live. This is Jordan Molson signing off. God bless. Take care. See you soon.